Right now, if you look at the world, they're all stressed.
Yes.
Everyone is stressed and they're responding from stress, they're relating from stress, they're creating abundance or trying to create wealth from stress.
Japanese ikigai, that means life purpose.
Yes.
And it's very related to your Dharma in India.
What Sri Krishna ji and I have done is bringing together of these two extremes and showing only when you live in a beautiful inner state, are able to experience life free of stress and anxiety and fear, that is when you will be able to be your best. So if you want to create a great destiny, so it is not prefixed. Everything is not prefixed.
I see.
If you want to create a great destiny, it is possible. But where do we start? The purpose of every life, everybody's life, is to experience freedom, to experience liberation. Sometimes people come even with this, come back into this life to kind of be enlightened, to be experiencing freedom, liberation, and to live an enlightened state and to live an enlightened life.
Hello, my name is Ken Honda, and I'm so excited to host this special guest from India, Shri Preethaji. Thank you so much for joining us.
Wonderful being over here. Namaste.
Namaste in Tokyo. So we are filming this in Tokyo, and we are so excited to have you back.
It's so beautiful to be back in Tokyo.
So obviously, I hope you seem to love Japan because you seem to be coming back so many times.
Absolutely love being here, and the way people learn, people are really looking for having spirituality into their lives, so open and so receiving, and that brings us back to Japan again.
Thank you so much. Well, Japanese people love Indian culture, Indian philosophy, and the depth of India. And also we don't need to mention it, but we love Indian curry. A lot of people eat probably curry rice a few times a week, and Japanese kids' favorite as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. I never knew that.
Really?
No, I didn't know kids loved Indian curries.
Yes, so India is part of our life.
Beautiful.
So, and since you're here, I'd like to ask you some questions on your teachings.
Absolutely.
And also your background and your recent book too.
Sure.
Which is so exciting.
Yes.
So first of all, can you tell us about what you teach in general? I understand this audience will be very general, so people may not understand about the spirituality or religion. So in general, my understanding is you are a teacher and mentor for many leaders in the world.
Yes. To put it in very simple terms, we teach people to live in a beautiful state. That is, to have a very beautiful inner experience of life. To be very calm, peaceful, joyful, to be very connected, feeling gratitude. To live one's life free of stress, any kind of inner disturbance, anger, fear, loneliness, sadness, irritation, frustration, tension, to live life free of stress and to live in a beautiful inner state and experience life from that beautiful inner state, to create wealth from that beautiful inner state, to relate with one's children or partner from that beautiful inner state. That is what, in very simple terms, we teach. We lead the participants, the individuals, from a state of stress and anxiety and fear and tension to beautiful state of living. And we also lead them all the way to enlightenment, to live free of suffering, to live free of conflict, to live free of separation and division. That is our vision.
And you're traveling around the world literally.
Yes, we travel all over the world teaching people to live free of suffering, to live in a beautiful state, to live life from an enlightened consciousness. Our vision, to put in numbers, our vision is to have 8 million people live in a beautiful state.
Wow.
And 80,000 people live in an enlightened state. So that is our vision in numbers.
And you're literally, as we speak, impacting millions of people around the world.
Yes, we have people learning from us, living life in a beautiful state, and a population living in an enlightened state, free of suffering, from all walks of life, from different parts of the world. They speak different language, they have a different culture, they are coming from different backgrounds, religious backgrounds. But over here, they learn spirituality. They learn spirituality, which is freedom from suffering, which is freedom from the past, which is to actually experience and live life completely and fully, not being stuck in the past.
What is so unique about your teaching is that people can have both financial abundance and also social and spiritual abundance too.
Yes.
Some teachers focus on only spiritual abundance. They forget to bring food on the table too.
I mean, it's very interesting that you're asking this question, Ken, because what happens is the inner experience that I'm talking about, the thoughts, the perceptions, the inner experience is just not what one experiences internally. It doesn't end there. It directly reflects on one's life. It reflects on one's relationship. It reflects on one's abundance. So internally, when one is living in stress and anxiety, your inner state, the inner experience is also getting passed on to the external world. It is getting passed on. Your state is getting communicated into this universe. And when you are in stressful states again and again, you only invite those situations, those problems back again and again into your life, which will keep you in stress. So that is why people like run behind wealth and abundance, which is perfect. You need to work hard, you need to have the right strategies, you need to have the right knowledge, you need to have the right network. What we focus on is just not these, but also your state that will be conducive for you to attract those people, those opportunities into your life. Because we teach, we show people how their inner world and the external life are so intricately connected. It is like there is an invisible cord from your state, from your inner experience to life, and then this state is attracting the right person, the right opportunities, and it also kind of exposes you to the right things that you need to be doing. That is why our focus is on state. We are not looking at creating enlightened hermits living in the forest. We're actually looking at creating engaged, enlightened beings who are able to be enlightened wealth creators, enlightened leaders, enlightened parents, enlightened teachers, because that is what is the world needs that.
True.
Yeah. And usually, as you mentioned, there is a lot of separation between spirituality and the material. There is a lot of people focusing on material. A whole civilization is focusing on the material world, and very few of them focusing on spiritual world. What Sri Krishna ji and I have done is bringing together of these two extremes and showing only when you live in a beautiful inner state, only when you are able to experience life free of stress and anxiety and fear, that is when you will be able to be your best, very intelligent, perform your best, make those right decisions. All that is possible only when you have a spiritual evolution internally.
So that means that you have to work inside first, and
Yes.
then that will manifest outside.
Yes. It is like, internally there is a sculpting that is happening because of your experiences that you have in life as you grow up, as you're facing challenges, as you're facing failures. There is an inner environment that is being created unconsciously, unknowingly. And that environment is, to become free of that which is binding internally is so very essential to experience the external abundance.
In your book, you are talking about healing your inner child too. It's because probably what's created inside happened so many years ago when we were children. So healing our childhood trauma could be the first key to start building inner peace.
Absolutely, because the experiences that one has had as a child, it becomes the foundation of one's life, the foundation of one's thinking, one's emotional states. And when it happens early on in life, it is like very strong neural connections in the brain, in the heart, and that becomes the outlook towards life. That becomes the experience of life. And as I said, your inner state is interacting with life, and then you come upon the pretty similar experiences again and again because you have built that foundation for that. In the process of freedom, in the process of leading people through beautiful states and enlightened states, what also happens is that entire traumatic childhood experiences gets released. Freedom is experienced internally. And from that space of freedom, then you go ahead and create a lot of abundance in the external life. Not from a place of lack, not from a place of wanting to prove to somebody else, but just for the pure joy of creating whatever you're creating. And when you are in that state, what we have seen is there is incredible blessing that flows from the universe. You feel rewarded, you feel blessed, you feel that the universe is listening to you, responding to you for what your heart wants because of that incredible, beautiful inner state that you can live your life. When you become free of your past traumas, past pain, without being carrying it through life and being allowing it to continue through life and living very limited experience, you open up to vast experiences and beautiful blessings of the universe flows.
Thank you so much. What's so unique about your teaching is that abundance is something you try to win. It's almost like you're letting that abundance come to you.
Yes.
So instead of working so hard, you just let it happen is, to me, the core essence of what you teach.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, when the inner state is such that it is of stress or anxiety or fear, what we have seen is it destroying your body, it is destroying your brain, it is destroying your thinking, your ability to decide, you're conflicted, your energy is not actually used to create that abundance that you want to create. When you are living in beautiful states of consciousness, that is what we help people get to. That is through our meditations, teachings, practices, mystical processes, and all those experiences. As we lead people through having those incredible states, the intelligence that one has, the energy, the vitality that one has is undivided. So right now, for a person who's conflicted or who is in pain and who's just pushing oneself towards success from that inner pain, it is a divided attention. It is a divided energy. And the thing is, you are successful to that extent, you're able to bring attention to, you're able to focus attention and make those right decisions, not once, just not twice, again and again and again. So that needs that inner power, the inner strength, and that comes from that state.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So just imagine that I think most of us are in a state that we are not really doing what we really love.
Okay.
So 80% of the work, I do it to bring food on the table. So we want to manifest a beautiful life, which is follow our dreams. But right now we are stuck in a job. I think 90% of our population live that way, unfortunately. But of course we want to shift our consciousness towards our goals and dreams.
So when you shift your consciousness towards your goals and dreams, if I articulate on that, how we go about that.
Yes.
When you are somebody who's free of your past pain, your past traumas, you're free of your stress, you're free of your anxiety, then what happens is you discover a great connection. It is like your heart is flooding with the experience of connection, and in that state you become a person who's able to connect. You connect to people, you connect to situations, you connect And from that connection, you discover a purpose. And when you have discovered a purpose from that state of connection, what we have seen is blessings flood your life. You would receive those unique opportunities, you would meet those people who will actually kind of help you support in sculpting a very beautiful, magnificent life. So for us, the shift in consciousness is from that of stress, of that of fear, from that of wanting to prove to somebody else, feeling a sense of lack. From that, it has to shift to an experience of profound connection, a deep connection with people or with life, however big or small it is, it doesn't matter. And then you see that this is what you want to do in life, because it is emerging from a state of connection, not from stress. That is, your state, your consciousness is conducive for the abundance to flow at that point. You receive the incredible blessings through people, through situations, or you just most unexpected events flow into your life.
Thank you so much. So it sounds like Japanese ikigai, that means life purpose.
Yes.
And it's very related to your Dharma in India.
Yes.
So could you elaborate on Dharma or life purpose, how to find it on everyday life?
Perfect. Dharma, as it is understood in India, is responsibility.
Responsibility.
It is responsibility. That is the simplest definition of what Dharma is. But what Sri Krishna ji and I do is take it very deep. We're talking about one discovering one's swadharma. That is, right now you're living a life of paradharma. That is, you're doing because your parents asked you to do. You're doing it because your friends are doing it. You're doing it because of some other influence is happening on you. That's why you're doing. But your swadharma, that is your purpose, your dharma, is when you become free of suffering. As long as it is suffering, as long as it is your inner suffering state or your stressful state, or you want to prove yourself to somebody else, or you want to feel superior because, say, you're hurt earlier in life because of some reason, you're hurt with your sibling. That is, you felt your parents were more caring for your sibling and less for you. That hurt is what, if that hurt is what is propelling you towards creating abundance in life, you will feel very terrible at that point. As you are creating abundance, it will not be fulfilling. It will not be fulfilling. It will not feel, okay, my life is complete. No. There'll be this nagging feeling of, what am I doing with my life? What is the meaning? What is the purpose? So it is only when you are able to discover your swadharma, that arises when you become free of suffering state, that arises when you are living with an expanded state of consciousness, you're experiencing greater connection, and you are actually living life. In that state, you discover your swadharma. Not only discovering your swadharma, you also receive support from the universe to manifest your heartfelt desire of what you want to create in life.
Thank you so much. I'm sure that people are just very excited to hear this.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you so much for all the answers. So, ikigai and dharma, the essence is almost like a responsibility in this life to live 100% of your life.
Yes.
Which is to be found in everyday life easily, or you have to act on something so you can really receive the depth of dharma.
Can you repeat the question?
So do you need to do something special in everyday life to find dharma, or is it something you will notice or you will receive?
What one needs to do is dissolving stress, dissolving suffering, dissolving the pain of the past. When that happens, one discovers the dharma, the true purpose.
That is very interesting approach. So that means by reducing the stress in everyday life, which will probably you need to shift your consciousness.
Yes.
And also heal your trauma experiences.
Yes.
You have more energy. Probably,
absolutely.
and then you make a room to receive a blessing from the universe.
You experience great energy. great vitality in the body. Your heart is like fully filled with energy. You experience great connection with the world, with the people in your life. And then you are in this room where, or in this space where you will get in all the blessings of the universe. See, if the base or if the foundation is that of loneliness, sadness, irritation, frustration, anxiety, feeling a sense of lack or shame, when that becomes the everyday experience of life, think of it as a poisonous weed in your consciousness. And a poisonous weed does not allow growth to happen. A poisonous weed stifles you. It doesn't give space for growth, for joy. So that needs to be weeded out of your consciousness to experience great connection, to experience great purpose, the Dharma, and you also have great energy to act on your purpose, and you're creating that space in your consciousness to receive the blessings of the universe, and that is how you create incredible abundance into your life.
Thank you so much for sharing. So I now think from Asian cultural people, especially Japanese, Chinese, and Eastern Asian culture, we have to deal with guilt. If we say or do something against our parents' wishes or against our friends' wishes, we feel guilty because people expect us to do certain things, and then if we don't, sorry, I want to do this, we feel guilty. So how could you deal with your guilt?
First thing we should understand is guilt is not a beautiful state.
Guilt, I agree.
Yes, guilt is a suffering state. People feel guilty if they don't feel guilty.
That's so true.
Yes. People think that they need to feel guilty, not knowing that guilt is also a suffering state. And there are practices that we kind of help people with. There are practices that are meditations that people do in order to become free of guilt. What people do is run away from it because it's an uncomfortable experience, or constantly justify why they're feeling guilty or why they did what they did. They're constantly justifying within themselves internally, saying that why they acted the way they acted. That's what it is, right? When you are feeling guilty, the truth of it is here. There is a constant justification about your actions, why you perform those actions the way you perform. So the entire meditation is for us to bring attention to that guilt and then dissolve it. Usually what people do outside is they run away from guilt. Any suffering, any stress, any anxiety, people run away from it. But just because you're running away from it doesn't mean that it is not there. It is there. And unfortunately, what is also happening is that inner environment continues to build. There is the neural connections in your brain is becoming stronger for that guilt or stress, whatever that suffering state is. And because you're so used to it, it continues to build, though you're running away from it. Though you're having a drink and sleeping, it doesn't mean it is gone. It is still there. What we teach is conscious total attention to one's inner state. Instead of running away, if you can bring conscious total attention to that state of guilt, looking at the intricate detailing of it, the thoughts around those emotions, what you're trying to justify, how you're trying to justify your actions as to why you had to do it or why you did it, to see it very clearly. And then you'll become calm. See, the build-up, the continuation of that emotion is because of the running away process. But instead, if you're able to turn your attention internally and you're able to see it, then you become internally calm. There is nothing you're running away from. So that is in brief the meditation that would involve around guilt.
Thank you so much. And I think by listening to you, I feel so much calmer. So I'm sure millions of people who are watching this will feel the same way. So
it'll be beautiful if people can become calm and then, relate from that state of calm. Right now, if you look at the world, they're all stressed.
Yes.
Everyone is stressed and they're responding from stress, they're relating from stress, they're creating abundance or trying to create wealth from stress, they're trying to create success from stress. And then what they're able to reap in terms of the effort is also very little. If the state is conducive, then if they're able to live in that beautiful state, they're also able to create incredibly abundant and a beautiful life.
Thank you very much. So I have another question for
Yes.
Sri Preethaji. Many Japanese people ask me that they are so busy living their life, so they cannot find what they want to do. So they say, I have no dreams. So for those people who say, I have no dreams, is there any way we can find our dreams?
If somebody says, I don't have dreams,
We don't have any dream, but I want to have a dream.
okay, you want to have a dream.
Yes.
Okay.
So I want to have a dream, but I don't. I have none at the moment. What would you say?
You have to wait. You have to wait, and
Wait.
you have to wait and work on your state. You will discover your dream if you're not stressed out in your life.
I see.
You will discover your dream if you are not caught in your past. You will discover your dream when you are not in a suffering state and when you begin to live in a beautiful state.
I see.
But as long as it is the stress and the frustration, the irritation, the anxiety, the fear, the shame and the guilt with which one is living life, it is impossible to discover one's dream.
I see. Thank you. That's very thoughtful. So in life, there are two ways of living, is what we think: going after what we want, and also enjoying what we receive. So Japanese people tend to think that whatever comes, we'll enjoy. So instead of going after what we want, which is very Western, like set goals and just decide how many steps we have, and then take the actions.
Okay.
On the other hand, I think your philosophy is somewhere in the middle, because instead of working so hard, you attract them.
Yes.
So-
I mean, what I've seen is even if you work hard, you don't really attract what you have to attract. Because, life is full of surprises, challenges, problems. I mean, many times I see people taking 4 steps forward to get back 5 steps.
Yes.
There is like constant swing in life. So it is okay to have goals. It is okay to have a vision. But what I would say is live in a beautiful state and go ahead with achieving what you want to achieve. Don't do it from a stressful state. Don't do it from suffering state. Because that in itself is like a vibration that you are tuning to. And that vibration, those energies are not going to allow you to realize your dream. And then after live in a beautiful state, you can have goals if you want to, and go ahead and achieve it, and also enjoy what you have achieved.
So goals are not something you must have.
Not necessary. But if you have it, you can have it. Provided you are not pushing yourself from a suffering state, not from a state of lack. You're enjoying every bit of your journey, not assuming that you will become happy at the end of it. That is, every little step that you're taking towards your goal has to be fulfilling, has to be enjoyable. But what has happened in the Western culture is they set a goal and they believe that they will become happy after they reach the goal.
I see.
So what they're propelling is from the state of sadness, they're rushing towards a goal. 2 things would happen. One is they might never reach the goal because their state is not conducive for receiving abundance. 2 is even after you reach your goal, you're not going to be happy.
Yes.
Because you have wired yourself internally for so many days, so many years, sometimes even decades, to live in suffering, to live in a stressful state. That is not going to change when you've achieved something. You probably experience a little pleasure, which is very short, and the pleasure also goes away very soon. And then you are again living in stress. At that point, people question, oh, I thought I will be happy. I thought I'll be fine. I thought everything in life is just would be perfect and great after I have reached this. But now I'm realizing it is not there. So what is wrong? What did I miss? So what one has missed is continuing to tuning oneself to suffering in your brain, in your consciousness, in your heart, in your body, in your cells, and you do not know what it is to live free of stress or suffering.
Thank you very much. So I have another question that I get often asked. It's about the difference between destiny and fate. For example, fate is something it's pre-decided. When we are born, we know our parents, their economic, social status were already set, and our future, and also physical condition, genetic illness is already sort of pre-decided. And destiny is something you can do something. So by studying hard, working hard, by taking good care of your clients, you can be more successful. So could you elaborate on this?
That's a beautiful,
Dharma.
that's a beautiful question. This universe is a set of possibilities. That is, it's like different vibrations. And say if I'm taking this vibration, I'm going to land here. If I hold on to this vibration, I'm going to land there. So if you want to create a great destiny, so it is not prefixed. Everything is not prefixed.
I see.
If you want to create a great destiny, it is possible. But where do we start? You will start with your state. You would be, if you are in suffering or stressful states, you would create pretty much the same kinds of experiences. What we have seen again and again is when people live in a particular state, it is not only the individual state, it's something that gets transferred from the ancestors, from the parents, from the great-grandparents. You are taking it all. That is, our life is just not these years that we have lived. Our life is basically a continuation of how our parents, our grandparents, and our great-grandparents have lived, and it is flowing. And now you're here and you want to create a very beautiful destiny. You don't want to create the same fate as what has been created in your family. You don't want the same patterns of laws of separation to repeat in your life. You start with your state of being. That is when you will be breaking all the limitations, all the limiting patterns to create that extraordinary destiny that you have to create. But as long as you are stuck, say your grandfather for some reason experienced scarcity or has lived in anxiety, it is getting passed on to you. It is getting passed on to you genetically. It is also getting passed on to you energetically. So as it is happening, you tend to create the same limiting patterns or the same limiting life of your parents. You see patterns in family. If you want to change that and create that extraordinary destiny, you need to learn to live free of stress and anxiety and fear. Actually, you need to live in an enlightened consciousness.
I see. And by working on yourself now, you can probably heal generations of energy.
Absolutely. It's just not the present future, but present also is like causing evolution of the past.
So in other words, present is happening, but by working on the present,
Yes.
you can work on the past and
As
also
well
the
as the
future
future. Yes.
at the same time.
Yes.
That's a very fascinating subject.
Yes, absolutely.
So, Shri Preethaji, I have another question about karma and past lives. So, we believe that when we meet somebody in this life, that means we have another previous relationship in the past. It's not quite common in the West, but in the East, in Japan, people believe in reincarnations. So, whoever we meet in this life, we have deep connections like husband and wife, or even business associates. We have some previous lives. And do you take on this previous lives and karma?
Absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, as this life is just not what you have lived, how many ever years you've had your birthday over here, like not 10, 20, 30, 40, 56 years. But it's a continuation. When I mean it's a continuation, it is a continuation of your parents, your grandparents, your ancestors, their life is continuing. Not only that, your own past lives also is continuing in you. And the anger that you have built in your past life continues as anger in this life. Say that hurt that you've experienced in your past life, you probably come back into this life to kind of take revenge on the person whom you've hurt. But the most beautiful thing is if you're able to free yourself from the suffering that is flowing in from your past. Your life is just not so limited just to be fueling yourself with anger or with hurt or allowing that same cycle to continue into the future life. The purpose of every life, everybody's life, is to experience freedom, to experience liberation. And sometimes people come even with this, come back into this life to kind of be enlightened, to be experiencing freedom, liberation, and to live that enlightened state and to live an enlightened life. And that is why they are here. So they come in either to resolve a past pain, they come back here to with a mutual consent, or they come back here for growth. So, but whatever it is, if the suffering of the past is continuing into the present, whether it is of your past childhood, or your past ancestors' suffering, or your own past life suffering, it is right now the time that you dissolve it. You dissolve it, you become free of it, and actually love life, live life.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure by now people are just watching this video like, wow. So I'm sure they feel the strong connection with you. So you're teaching in India mostly, but you're also going around the world teaching this deep philosophy.
Yes.
And you teach in all the European countries, you teach in Australia, in North America, and also you come to Japan quite often.
Yes.
So I hope you visit us. But for those of you who cannot come to the real sessions, you have also online courses as well.
Yes, for those who really want to take the first step in this path of creating a magnificent life with a very beautiful inner state, the first step would be the Manifest Journey. It's a 3-hour online program that happens every month, and it's a very beautiful journey. It is a very beautiful meditation and process that I lead people through. It's just 3 hours. You can do it from your home, but incredibly powerful for you to begin to nurture a beautiful state in your consciousness and create a magnificent life. Because for us, the both are not separate. It is only when you live in a beautiful state you can create a magnificent life. And of course, yes, I travel all over the world doing the 4-day retreat called the Field of Awakening. And it is a deep process. And as you mentioned, in Miami, Los Angeles, New York, Japan, in Tokyo, in Seoul, in Kuala Lumpur, I just finished one in Gold Coast in Australia. So it is like, it's a 4-day retreat that happens all over the world.
And you don't seem to be tired at all. So this is your Dharma, and you seem to be enjoying it.
Absolutely, every bit of it. When people become joyful, when they begin to share the incredible miracles or synchronicities that happen with the work that we are doing. And actually when people begin to talk about their enlightened consciousness and how they are living life in a state of unperturbed calm, life challenges, problems are not really bothering them, but they are in that calm, and from that state they're dissolving the problems effortlessly. They're able to feel incredible blessings of the universe. They feel so connected to life itself, to people in their life. I mean, that is very fulfilling in terms of what is possible for a human being.
Thank you so much for your time, and we're so blessed for your visit, and please come again and again to bless us and enlighten us.
It's so beautiful to have this conversation with you, Ken.
Thank you so much. I learned a lot.
Namaste.
Namaste. So thank you so much for watching this video. I learned so much. How about you? Whatever you learn, please write on comment section.
Beautiful to be conversing with Ken-san here in Tokyo, and really looking forward to teaching you all and helping you live a beautiful life and create a magnificent life.
Bye-bye.
Namaste.
Namaste.